In this lesson, I wanted to talk about the difference of beat versus rhythm. So you can see on the slide here that there are hearts, and those are like the steady pulse of a heartbeat. So a heartbeat can move quickly and hopefully steadily, or it can move slow and steady, but we will have a consistent speed throughout our music if we're just tapping along to the beat. So that can be a great first way of thinking about beat in music and finding that pulse that is steady and continues. Now, we can have rhythmic flexibility or beat flexibility if we're slowing down or speeding up on purpose, but generally that's the consistent pulse of music. When we talk about rhythm, rhythm is how those beats, the duration of the beats, if you will. So on the slide here, we have a whole note in the bottom, and it gets the value of 4 beats within it. So we would count that 1, 2, 3, 4, or students might even use words like great, big, whole note to explain that duration of the note. The next thing we'll see is music divided into 2 half notes, or just a half note. So a half note contains 2 of those inner pulses. So we would count 1, 2, 1, 2. And if we're playing an instrument, we want the sound to continue for the full beat. 1, 2, 1, 2. The next one we can see is quarter notes, and quarter notes get 1 beat per quarter note. If we're talking about simple time, we'll get into compound time a little later. So simple time, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4 time, and you'll feel that a quarter note gets just 1 beat. So we would count this slide 1, 1, 1, 1 if you want to keep it simple, or using the word ta, or we can count how many beats are in the measure, if you will. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is what you see on the screen. Then we can get into some other ways to feel music as far as rhythm. We have 8th notes, and there's 2 8th notes inside of 1 quarter note, and you don't have to think too hard. It just will sound like it's running, for instance, running, 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 or T, 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 or if you're counting more formally, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So these are all ways that you can count the rhythm and feel the rhythm, and it's great to start hearing the way that rhythm works together. Then we get what feels more complicated to a lot of students, but it really isn't. We can use 16th notes. There's 16 16th in a great big whole note, the one we first looked at, and lots of people might say something like taka 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 taka. And you can also count 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. So those are ways that you can think about rhythm, you can hear rhythm, you can experience rhythm. And the other thing I like to tell students is just because we see 16th notes, yes, they are faster than a quarter note in the same measure, but really we can have that inner pulse of the music going slowly, which would mean we could just think 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and so it doesn't mean that you immediately have to put on the gas and go full throttle. So you'll actually probably want to start your music slower if you're seeing these for the first time. Lastly, I love talking about triplet eighth notes even early in your music journey, because you really can get the fact that we've got this inner pulse of music, those heartbeats of music going steadily, and now we're going to divide each of those heartbeats up into 3 what we call triplet eighth notes. So we would count it like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So it's fun to explore rhythm. Don't be nervous to get into counting and exploring music. And I think it's wonderful if you use words to like experience rhythm or counting. Both are very valid ways of experiencing rhythm, and then thinking about beat and pulse when you're experiencing music. I'd love to know if this is helpful. You can like the video, and we'll see you in the next video.